Okay, so here we are with the last lesson for this unit, and we're going to look at the second part of colligative properties and what we call freezing point depression. If you remember from the previous video, we said that when you dissolve something in water, it raises the boiling point above 100 degrees. The more solute you add, the higher the boiling point is going to be. The opposite is also true. When you add something to water, it lowers the freezing point. Now, the normal freezing point of water is 0. So if you lower it, it's going to be below 0, which on the Celsius scale will be a negative number. The more you dissolve, the lower the freezing point is going to be. Again, example of that would be when the reason why they add salt to the roads in the wintertime is to lower the freezing point of the water, so it doesn't freeze at 0 Celsius. It will freeze at a lower temperature, so it will stay liquid. The roads are, of course, less dangerous. So again, which type of solute will have the greatest effect on melting point and boiling point, ionic or covalent? Well, we already know it's ionic, and the reason is because they break apart into ions when you put them in water. And again, here are examples. When you take one NaCl particle and put it in water, it splits into two particles, an Na plus and a Cl minus. When you take a single glucose molecule, or any sugar molecule for that matter, it never breaks apart into ions, it stays intact. So you kind of get more bang for your buck when you dissolve salts in water than you do sugars in water. Alright, so it says, which of the following solutions will freeze at the lowest temperature? So again, you are trying to determine if it has the freeze at the lowest temperature. Again, you're looking for the one that has the highest concentration. So if you look at this one, it's 100 grams of NaCl in 150 grams of water. There's two B's here. 100 grams of NaCl in 600 grams, well, that's not very concentrated. 100 grams of NaCl in 125 grams. Well, that's less water than this one, so this is more concentrated. That one's out. And this is 250 grams of water, so that's less concentrated. So the answer would be, of course, C. That would be the most concentrated. It would have the lowest freezing point, but you don't have to worry about figuring out what the freezing point would be. Okay, another type of question. This one says, which of the following solutions will freeze at the lowest temperature? So you want to figure out which one will have the most ions, the most concentrated. You have 100 grams of glucose in 500 grams of water. Remember, this doesn't split into ions. There's two B's here again. 100 grams of AlCl3 in 500 grams of water. Well, right away we can cross this one out because it is covalent. We know it's not going to be the answer. And AlCl3 is going to break apart into an Al plus 3 and 3 Cl minus ions. So that's 4 total particles. 4 particles in 500 grams of water. We have 100 grams of KBr. Well, we can see that this is only going to break apart into 2 ions, so that one's obviously not concentrated. This one's going to break up into 1 Mg and 2 Fs. That's 3 ions. So the most concentrated would be B. That would have the lowest freezing point. And that is the end of